That's nice.
All right, Nathan, what are we doing today?
All right, the VY is back. As you know, we are running currently a Natural Springs catch can setup. It's not the best. Not the best catch can setup. So, we've looked through the Raceworks catalogue and we've found a nice slim catch can. So this catch can does breathe to atmosphere. It actually seeps through the edges there, and this cap is actually spaced off, which I need to undo this nut to show you. Hang on. This catch can vent to atmosphere and also catch. So this is what we should have run from the beginning, but we didn't know how to do it. We've figured out how to do it now. So some simple barbs in, and it's all breathing out and nothing back into the engine. So sorted that out. We bought a flashy billet bracket to come with it. So we'll just simply sit it in this, make a nice bracket off the engine that will hold this, plumb it straight in. Anyway, we screwed up, we're fixing that. Moving on. Boost is a big thing you need to control in your car. And unfortunately, these little boost tees, winding thingies are a thing of the past. They're great if you're just slapping a turbo onto your AU Falcon and you want to go drifting with the boys, right? And blow BTRs. But we want to have some control over boost. What do you do when you don't have a Heltec? You get an e-boost.
Yes.
These have a feedback loop kind of solenoid thing. It controls boost. It has a bunch of settings in it where you can have different programmed boost levels. Really, really good kit this. So we want to fit this tonight.
Yep.
So
what is the benefit of running this system? See that button right there? That one that says mode? That's the important thing. That means that we can have different boost settings. You just click a button and you can like pretty much page up, page down. So we can have a street version, which could honestly just run 7 pounds, and a track version where we run 14. First up,
I'm just going to get into this because it's going to be late soon. Pizza's going to be on the way soon, and we need to get loud things done. So this is our original catch can. I'm going to use this original bracket that comes off the engine, and I'm just going to weld a big fat plate of steel off it, bolt that to it, done. And it's going to be breathing. It's an asthmatic. Alright, I'm going to get into it.
Yep, you have a look at that, and I guess I'll start looking at this e-boost to figure out what we need to do. Cool.
Wiring. So I want to use this original bracket because I quite like it because it's got slotted holes. So then you can adjust the height on the block. And then I'm just going to weld a bit of flat steel off to the side.
How good does that bracket look like?
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's upside down too. Oh yeah, baby. Right there.
Looks pretty neat.
I like it.
Me too.
So I put the bung in it. Wouldn't mind switching that out for the tap.
Yeah, we probably could.
That way you don't have to take it out to drain it. Like we could just put a hose on it.
Yeah,
shoot it under the car and you just turn the tap.
Yeah.
But that's it. The bracket is hanging up. I painted it. We'll let that dry. Our barbs are on. Easy. I knew this was going to take no time at all to install.
Alright, so Daniel's going to start attempting to pull apart the dash so we can get in there and do some wiring. What we should probably do now though is probably look at mounting the actual solenoid. So we're going to take this solenoid out now. So out comes the old school boost tee, and we're going to try and find a nice location for the new electronic boost solenoid. Alright, so we found a nice place to mount this, which I don't know why we never thought about this to begin with, but see this little lug that was in here? We realised that lug is useless now, and it probably went to the old overflow bottle that used to be here, so that's gone. We figured out it's an M6 bolt, and if we sit it
right there. Oh, the angle is perfect too. Look at that.
It all works lovely. The only problem is I'm pretty sure that's in and that's out.
Oh.
Otherwise it would have been even better.
Does it matter?
It does matter, yeah. So in, and then we'll just loop it out and go that way.
Yeah.
Oh, it nearly reached. Oh well. How'd you go?
All done.
Did you paint it in our same exhaust black as
I
we
did. I did the exhaust paint.
Exhaust paint that's not exhaust paint?
Yeah, the exhaust paint that's kind of exhaust paint, but not exhaust paint. So I'm going to mount this, and then we'll put the can on, and then do the finish off plumbing, and then it's done.
Yeah. All right, how do we go?
We are done. These are push lock barbs, so it's not coming off.
Looks like a fusion reactor.
I like it.
Yeah, no, it looks good. Nice and neat.
It's breathing now. We're ready to go.
Yep. I know what you're saying, like external filters look cool, but this is a perfect scenario for this type of filter.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you would think that this is plumbed back.
Yeah, 100%, which is good for reasons. That's all I'm going to say. So for anyone wondering or wanting to do this at home, because we found there was like very little information online on how to do catch cans on an LS1 easily, turbo LS1, without replacing like rocker covers with $500 rocker covers. Basically, it's the standard system from the PCV valves at the back here. It runs across, and all we've done is we've just, where this would normally go into the throttle body here, or just behind the throttle body, we've just basically separated that and run it straight into the catch can. This other vent here, which vents normally into the top of the throttle body here, which if you have a boosted turbo LS1, don't do that because you end up filling your oil system with boost. Ask us how we know. You blank that off, and all that now does is run straight to the catch can as well too. And then it just vents to atmosphere now, just like a turbo car we generally would, in the same way that we have the fairlane done. These lines, like I said, they are small. A lot of people obviously upgrade to much bigger lines, but we found like we're not having any breathing issues at the minute. As soon as we started venting to atmosphere on the dyno, we no longer had any issues with oil coming out of the dipstick tube. So it is breathing, so that's the important thing. If it becomes an issue in the future, just like everything else, like we just said, we'll change it then. But so far, it seems to be working. We've seen a few guys running the same system now, no issues. So what we'll do now is we'll start putting this boost controller in, and then we can start feeding wires through, and then once we've done that, I can start wiring.
Sounds good.
Alright, so I've basically extended my wires now, and I've just run in some heat shield. I can put it in now, and then we can feed this through the cab. Luckily, we still have a gaping hole. We haven't filled the firewall yet, just to slip it through. It's work in progress, this car. But this looks way better than the Boost T sitting right there. So where we're at is, we have the dash center console fully apart at the minute, but what we're doing is we're hooking in the wiring. Now, the wiring in this thing, there's like 8 wires that can go to it with a bunch of different settings. The minimum that you need is only four wires, positive, negative, and then just your boost solenoid controller wires here. That's the minimum you need. You can also add in engine RPM for different features, and you can add in like 2 auxiliary features as well too. One of those auxiliary settings that you could use is for your clutch. So this can do boost by gear. And the way that it does it is it just basically, you press a button to say I'm activating boost by gear. You hook it to your clutch. Every time you press the clutch in, the controller's counting, goes, okay, this is first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, sixth. And you press the button again to reset it and take it back down to first. So it's for drag racing purposes. So that you could, like say, have lower boost at first gear, higher boost in second gear. We're not going to set that up right now. We probably don't need to, because this is a manual and you're not going to be leaving the line with a lot of boost. You're going to be building boost as you drive off anyway. In the future, maybe if we end up going down the path of anti-lag or something like that, maybe we would, but we're not worried about it. Not at this stage. If we don't need it, I'm not going to bother trying to install it. There's no reason to do it. So we're just going the very basic at the minute. I managed to find an earth and a positive down here, which I can use, which keeps everything nice and local. I'm keeping all those extra wires I spoke about just in a bundle that we're just going to shove in the back there and ignore. And now all I have left to do now is just hook up the boost control to the boost solenoid, which should only take me a couple of minutes or so.
And then we can see light.
And then we should be able to turn the key and see what it does. I won't be able to set it because it's something that you definitely need to sit down and read through properly, and we just don't have time for that tonight. So we're just going to send it home with Daniel. He's going to drive it off boost, and then once we get to Jake's, then we can worry about...
We turn it up.
Yeah, and we can worry about how to set it up then. So.
Sounds good.
Alright, so the wiring's all in now. Daniel's put together all the fascia and stuff like that. That's going to just sit back behind there, but Daniel's still going to make a panel for this anyway, so it's just a temporary fit up just so he can get it home. So that plugs in, and then this boost reference goes in here. So this was just teed into a manifold boost reference. Good luck getting that.
Yeah, it's hard.
Daniel. And then we're just going to do the old shove it in behind there and hope for the best. Alright, so now it should start up.
It's upside down.
It's upside down.
Just check it
Ooh. Oh, oh.
Sports 1.
There's so many BP happening.
And we're not going to run the car because it's too late and it'll annoy the neighbours because this thing isn't exactly quiet. So we've got power, we know that it works. I don't know exactly how it reads, like whether it's actually going to read and tell us boost when you're driving. We won't know until we start driving it, but we're not going to do that tonight. So that's it. Hopefully the next scene you see in this episode will be us at the dyno with any luck, and we'll be able to figure that out with Jake. And
strap it down real hard.
Strap it down real hard and see what this finally makes and see what it will do.
Let's do it.
Cross to the dyno. Alright, well, we are here. We have made it to the dyno. Today we're not messing about. We're going to try and set some numbers or send a rod through the ceiling. We'll see what happens. We're all loaded up. We're nearly ready to start. Jake just got to go through and set up our new boost controller and figure all that out and go from there. It's pretty much it to it, isn't it, Jake? Like,
Yep.
it's pretty well tuned. It's just different boost levels now, yeah?
Yeah, we'll just ramp up the boost until we hit the number you want.
Since we last saw it, Daniel's gone through and he's put the boost controller in a nice little panel in the center console area now, so it looks all good. It's nice and fitted. See how it goes, I suppose.
Yeah, and we actually have raised it as well for this dyno session.
Yes, we have. So Daniel put back in the springs that we originally put in, then we took back out and we put them back in again to try and get a little bit higher so we can actually pull this thing down to the ground a bit onto the dyno. And we have stockies on the rear at the minute. We're going to try them. If that still doesn't get grip, then we're going to go to the Simmons out there. And if that doesn't get grip, then we're going to another dyno. Because we've got no other choice to go to hub after that. But
Stockies on the back. The car just feels natural now.
yeah, it feels like it's a natural environment. Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels happy.
Yeah,
All right, no mucking about. Let's get into it.
done.
Forget how loud this thing is. That's more like it. And that's on 6 PSI. Yeah. That's spring pressure. Yeah. 293 at spring, that's not bad. What did it make? 311. Oh, that's not bad, we're in the 300s. We are officially in the 300s. Congratulations, you're more powerful than the Fairlane.
I'm going to lay that power down now and beat the Fairlane.
What, 360? Whoa! We're getting there. So how are we looking?
Yeah, good. So that run was 11 psi. Still really mellow on the ignition timing. There's no knock at all. Fuel target's pretty good. How far do you want to go?
I want to see 400 on that screen.
Yep.
Is that possible?
Yeah. Can't see why not.
So this is what happens. Remember how Daniel's like, 12 PSI, that's it.
Yeah.
This is the dyno bug. This is exactly the dyno bug. We go, oh, one more. So by the end of this, are we going to be able to have two settings, like a street and track setting?
Yeah, you can have up to 6.
Yeah. I think 2 will be fine for this thing.
Two's all it needs.
Yeah.
High boost, low
Daily
boost.
and kill.
Daily and kill.
Cool. Let's keep winding it up.
Let's see what happens. Righto, so we just had one more run then. We played with the duty cycle and we just hit about 13 pounds of boost. So we're getting right up there to our 14 pound maximum. That made 375 with no ignition timing change from the previous run. So there's still power to be safely made into it. So I guess now it's down to the fine tuning and see how far we go with this thing. But yeah, that's a fair monster. Anyone who knows this channel knows that this dyno reads about 15% lower than what is actually correct, so that works out to be, what do we say, 430 real kilowatts, roughly around 570 horsepower. So she's powerful. she's gonna move. So we'll try again. We really want to see 400 on the screen on this dyno. Like we said, this dyno reads lower, so we can see 400 on this screen. We'll be absolutely stoked. And there's a healthy rivalry between us and another mate, so we want to see if we can beat them.
Jake, shit him. 384.
I know. That's supposed to be connected. Alright, go on, put it back on. Go. Alright, so we got a little too excited. We blew an intake hose, but it's only slipped off, so we should be able to put it back on. Hopefully.
Oh shit, did it bust the sensor?
No, luckily
Oh,
it
lucky
didn't.
you gave it enough stretch leeway for boost pressurage overload.
I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm glad you noticed, thank you.
Yeah, so when it blow the welds on the intake, it doesn't
And the floor
rip
pans
the,
come
rip
out.
the wire out.
Because
Yeah.
that wiring actually goes in, it's cable tied to the floor pan, so when the floor pan comes out, you know, you're not gonna
Exactly
lose it.
right. Yeah.
You got to think about these things, you know?
Exactly.
A lot of people don't. Well, I think we found our limit. Look at Nathan.
Nah, we're just gonna do it up.
Probably.
Have you given it any timing yet, or are you just winding in boost? at the
No,
moment?
that's just. I was adjusting the sensitivity on the boost.
So we can probably give it 14 and adjust, give it a
Well, I
degree
think-
and see what it does.
Well, I think what will happen, like, see it's coming down, so I increase the sensitivity,
Yeah,
and it's sort of a bit flatter.
yeah.
So what I think I'll do is I won't touch the boost, and I will increase the timing. That'll probably drop the boost, but it'll make more power.
Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah.
We had the charge pipe back on and tightened up that clamp a lot more. We think the issue was that the silicon bend wasn't over the bead enough and the aluminium enough, I reckon, so it's just slipped straight off. So that shouldn't be an issue now. Jake was saying that hit 14 pound that time. That's probably why it happened, and it was also a more gradual boost, so there's more stress and everything. We're adding a degree now. We're going for that 400 number now, yeah?
Yeah,
That's
so we're
what
going to
we're
add a degree, see if it makes a difference. If there's no gain, then that's it. I guess
Is
we're
what we
done.
call it, yeah.
I hope we get like 10 horsepower out of a degree, because then Jake might go, let's give it another degree, and then we might make 400.
These are big numbers for us.
Yeah, this is, well, we expected it.
Yeah, we expected
This is what Turbo LS has made.
Yeah, but seeing it, talking about it, and
Yeah.
seeing it on the screen,
Yeah.
two very different things.
And it's not even our car, like this is the worst thing.
I know.
You gotta remember, we're still running the spool and boost kit.
Yeah.
You can just buy and bolt on.
Yeah.
We're still running spool and boost turbo kit. The engine has nothing done to it besides a turbo, besides a camshaft and a set of valve springs, which is what you have to do.
And head studs, yeah.
Oh, and head studs, yeah, it's got head studs, which you can drop into an LS.
Yeah.
But this is still an off-the-shelf turbo kit
Yeah,
off Facebook Marketplace.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's gonna make near 400 kilowatts.
It's going to make near 400, and like it's working really well. So, you know, for anyone that wants to turbo their shit at home, just do it, mate. Nothing could go wrong.
Why wouldn't you?
Nothing could go wrong with turboing something.
Famous last word.
All right, let's see what a degree does.
Yeah. big pull.
I think he rammed it in slower.
Got that look in his face.
Yeah. He's like, there's more to be made, you know?
I was waiting to see your head go. You like tractor pulls?
I was like leaning up against the wall and I was just like, I'm like, what's my arm gonna do if something flows out of me? LS the world, eh?
You can see why they do it.
Yeah.
You can see why people do an LS turbo combo.
Far out.
It's too easy.
That's sick. That's sick.
It's exactly like you said before. It's so easy to make this power.
Yeah.
Like,
This is all through the factory computer still as well.
yeah.
That's 600 horsepower, 598. Well, maybe 600, there you go. That's impressive.
600 horsepower for what, 10 grand? All up?
Yeah. Yeah. That's a lot.
I asked if you tighten that down.
That was tight.
Gotta be tight.
That's not going anywhere.
What was that?
It sounded like the exhaust fell off. It went like really loud.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
We reckon it may have just hit overboost. The standard ECU and the map sensor we're using can only read to about 14 or 17 pound, which is I think 2 bar. We reckon what happened then, he tried to adjust the sensitivity so it ramped up the boost a lot quicker, and it must have just ramped up too high and hit boost cut, and what that noise that we heard was rev cut. That might be doing it through ignition or fuel cut. Probably fuel cut by the sounds of it, because it sounds very similar to the 2-step in my HQ when you hit that. So we just did a run then and it ran fine, just made the most power it's made. So 5 kilowatts off, less than 5 kilowatts off, seeing the 400 number on that screen. Jake's not happy, he wants to see that 400, so we'll see whether we get there. But I have a feeling we're probably
I think we're at our peak.
At its peak.
I'm sure I think he's pulling its strings down
Yeah.
to try and get 400.
He'll be going for those little minute things
Yeah.
to see what happens, but that's impressive. Glad that that noise didn't sound like anything serious. Looks like it was just a fuel cut.
Yeah.
Because it was very strange.
Yeah, it was.
It got super loud and changed note.
Yeah.
That map sensor's not happy.
It's got that crisp line of too much boost.
Well done, boys. You did it. Did you see the expression?
Wow. Still ramps in the tank.
Take the happy boy. Well done. That's it. That's the number we wanted.
Alright. Alright, I'm happy now.
You happy now? Jeez. Oh, there you go. You have a 408 kilowatt monster in a ute.
I don't want to drive it now.
At the point where it's happy,
Yep.
because I'm going to knock going past that. Yeah.
So she's done. We finally made it. 6 dyno sessions later, we finally did it. And what a result, 400 on the screen. Well, that's where we're going to wrap this video up. I can tell you from the short drives that we just did then, and I mean literally we just went around the block. We haven't even really put a foot into it, what, half throttle, if that.
Yeah, we only hit 6 pounds. So.
It's moving, it's so quick, but it is also extremely drivable. It's not like you just put your foot into it and you go, tree.
Yeah, it's very nice to drive.
Goes straight, comes on linear, smooth. The tune is excellent. Thank you so much, Jake. Took 6 attempts to get this thing tuned, but we finally got there. We made our number. We made more power than we actually expected to make. So what the final figure was 408.5, I think it was, something like that.
Yes.
That is the figure on the dyno. So like anyone who's watched this channel for a while and knows this dyno, it reads a little bit lower than normal. It's about a 15% correction that we estimate it is. So Jake reckons, what, 450? You reckon realistically? Yeah. 450 is what we actually reckon it is making. The butt dyno, you know, who knows? We won't know until we get this to the strip to actually find out what it does, because there's just no way of telling. The tyres don't hang on.
But that wraps up the build of this car. If you do want to go back and watch the whole build of this car, make sure you like, subscribe, go back and watch the whole entire build, the 3-week build, from start to finish. We are going to take this car racing, so there will be more content ahead on Turbo LS's.
Yes, we have a huge amount of thank yous for doing this build. Obviously Spool and Boost, thank you for helping us out with the Spool and Boost kit on this. Crow Cams for hooking us up with an awesome cam. We basically told them this is the turbo that we're going to be running and all our setup, and they said, here, use this cam. And as Jay said, this cam is what's actually making the power in this thing. Anthony, obviously, for helping us build the engine in the backyard. Jake, obviously, for tuning it. Raceworks for supplying all the parts. Tiperformance for also sourcing a bunch of these parts. Extreme Clutches for helping us out with the clutch. Tough Mounts for supplying engine mounts in this thing. Also, a big thank you to TurboSmart too for supplying the boost control. Really awesome bit of kit. Means that we can have multiple different settings, although driving, I don't know whether we really need it because it wasn't that crazy.
No, it wasn't crazy. You'd probably just leave it on the crazy setting.
Yeah, so it's going to be a fun car.
It's going to be an awesome,
freaking awesome car. It's turned out way better than we sort of initially thought it was going to be. It was supposed to be a 3-week build. We're now probably 6 months down the track. But the build also got a hell of a lot bigger than what it was ever supposed to be, and it's better for it, I think, for sure.
If you haven't already, make sure you click the link in the description below where you can head over to the website where you can buy what Michael is wearing.
Yes, Hackshop hoodies, backyard built performance.
Where you can support the channel and help us keep doing this and creating content for you guys to watch at home.
Yep.
It goes a long way and it helps us out and plans to do bigger and better things.
Absolutely.
But I think that's going to call it here.
I think that's it.
On to the next one.
On to the next one, which might make as much power. Potentially.
The goal is 400s.
Yeah, the goal is 400s. And then the fairlane.
And then the fairlane, 400.
Alright. See you in the next one. So if you're hoping to resell that kit that we used, Daniel, you can't anymore because Nathan just cut the mounts up.
Oh, you're going to resell it? Oh.
Not anymore. Squeaky shoes. My shoes are squeaky.
Dan was like, is this what happens when they're working on my car? Bolt's right there.
It looks like the robot out of... Have you seen Robots?
Yeah, of course I have.
Yeah.
It kind of does.
The head.
Oh my god. We could totally like put a little body on him and give him some arms.
I know, right?
Put some little LEDs in there. E-Boost to boost management. Yeah, boy. Beep, beep, beep.
This is how you know it's a good night in the shed.
Sure is.
Pizza and wiring.
Pizza and turbos.
Yeah.
And then it went, and then I thought it exploded. Yeah.
My head went that way, my legs went that way. Snack run.
That's it. It's gonna be, I think we're gonna be here a while.
Yeah, it looks like it.
We're experiencing technical difficulties.
It's so powerful that it rebooted the computer.